Hey everyone, welcome back to the Cleaver Podcast. I'm your co-host Michael.
I'm your other co-host Josh, and today we got a special guest. Special guest Mike.
What's going on, everybody? First time on the show. Good to be here. See how it goes.
Hey man, let's get right into it. The Week 10 recap.
Let's start with the Thursday night. We had the Steelers playing the Panthers. Steelers, let's just say won this one handily, 52-21 over Carolina.
Big Ben killed it. What a performance by him. Your Sunday games, you got the Lions versus the Bears. Bears turning out 34-22 to stay atop in their division. You got the second beatdown of the week, the Saints at the Bengals, 51-14. Drew Brees, passes Brett Favre for second all time in passing touchdowns. Go on that later. You had the Falcons at the Browns. Browns pulled it out, got the third win of the season, 28-16.
Have the Jaguars at the Colts. Colts won a tight one, 29-26.
Yeah, Jaguars fumbled on the final drive. What a shame.
Hate to hear it.
You got the Chiefs moving on to 9-1 after beating the Cardinals 26-14. Another nice game for Patrick Mahomes. A little bit down on the yards, but still had a nice performance.
Matt Barkley showing it out with the Bills. First game with the Bills, beating them the Jets 41-10. Might found their nice backup quarterback.
Oh yeah, trade value.
Had a low-scoring game, Redskins versus the Bucks. Surprisingly low. Bucks putting up only 3 points.
Yet Ryan Fitzpatrick threw over 300 yards.
Yeah, they had 500 plus yards of offense that game, right? Came away with 3 points.
Yeah, I don't
Sad.
Redskins
I don't know
defense
how that
bent,
happens.
but they didn't break.
They were bending all the way around, but
Hey, they got the job
Scoring defense is what matters, guys.
done. Yep.
The best surprise of the week, Titans taking down the Patriots 34-10. Tom Brady was held to no touchdowns that game.
beautiful.
You got the Chargers taking down the Raiders 20-6.
That game was a lot closer than it should have been. They actually struggled into the fourth quarter. We had the Dolphins losing to the Packers. Packers back in the thick of the playoff race. Dolphins going into bye with quarterback controversy. Yeah, the very surprising game with the Seahawks at the Rams. Did not expect the Seahawks to put that much of a fight.
Yep. Lost because of a late fumble, which set the Rams up nicely to score and take the lead and never look back. Rams move on to 9-1.
A crazy Sunday night football game. Cowboys winning 27-20 against the Eagles. Eagles are literally 3 yards short. What a shame. And then the most surprising, actually decent primetime game of the week was the Giants and 49ers. Giants win 27-23 on the final play of the game.
Evenly matched. What can we say?
Yeah, but going back to Drew Brees, he's second all time in the passing touchdowns at 508, passing Brett Favre.
Yep, now he's only got Peyton Manning in front of him.
Yep, he is
Still got a little bit of a ways to go, but he'll get
32
him next year.
touchdowns to go.
Yep, probably get him by sometime next year.
Yeah, it's the dome. It's all the dome. It's an advantage.
Yep.
Yeah, just hope he can stay healthy next year, man.
Yeah, that's true.
He's hitting 40 years old. That's when you start really declining. I
Yeah.
don't care, you tell whatever about Brady. Brady has only thrown one touchdown in the last 3 weeks, so
Yeah,
Slow him down.
he's having a down year, but it's still, good.
hey man, if you can play over 40, you're doing good.
Yeah.
Ask Adam Vinatieri.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if kickers. You can count kickers in there.
Hey man, he's older than my dad, all right.
Oh,
Moving down, Drew Brees being one of the best quarterbacks. I'm gonna go to you, Mike. What's your top 5 quarterbacks in the league right now?
currently, ranked from 1 to 5.
Yeah, 1 to 5.
Are we going career status, or
Yeah,
are we
career
talking?
status.
Oh, well, you got to put Tom Brady at number 1. I hate to have to say it, but it's true. Number 2, Drew Brees, easy. I still give Brady the edge for the titles, of course. At number 3, I'm putting Big Ben over Aaron Rodgers, boys. If we're going on career, you got to do it. Aaron Rodgers, obviously top 5, but he's got a ways to go. He's got a career left in him for sure. We'll see where he goes.
He's only 1 year younger.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like Rodgers has got more time in the league than Big Ben. I feel like Big Ben's been slowing down, to be honest.
Yeah.
Aside from last week. Surprising game last week. An anomaly.
Yeah. He'll slow down. He'll come back down to earth.
Then hot take for number 5, Baker Mayfield. Don't know why. We're just putting him in there.
He has that it factor.
He's
bro.
got the intangibles.
He has that potential to match
Hey.
Tom Brady or
Turn the
Tom
worst
Brady with
team
6
into
Super
not the
Bowls.
worst team.
You really put Baker Mayfield in front of Philip Rivers and Eli Manning. Balls even moving up there.
Philip Rivers
And
and
Matt
Eli
Ryan.
Manning. Oh, Matt Ryan. I hate Matt Ryan. I hate Matt Ryan.
Those 2 first names. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's unacceptable.
Yeah, my top 5. I got Aaron Rodgers at 1. Let's be real here. He's probably the
That's
best quarter.
fair.
He's
In
probably
terms
one
of
of the,
performance, yeah.
he's probably going to lead the league in fourth quarter comebacks or game-winning drives. Number 2, I got Drew Brees. Don't know how, but he usually averages 30 points a game. Offense. Don't matter who his wide receivers are. I can name like his last 5 top 1 wide receivers in the last 5 years. It's all been different. All been different.
That's a fair point, yeah.
Number 3, I got Brady. I mean, you can give credit. He got 5 rings.
But he's
But
got also
let's
got
be real.
Belichick.
Three of those came from defenses. So
Should have ran the ball. Seahawks should have ran the ball. Stand by it to this day.
number 4, I got Big Ben. I mean, 350 passing touchdowns. He's 35 years old. Got a red hot offense. And then number 5, I got Jared Goff. That man's lighting it up right now.
He really is.
He's gonna be one of the next top tier quarterbacks in the league.
It's crazy to me how the coaching changed Goff from just like nothing into who he is now.
Yeah. He took a huge step forward. All right, I like that we all got different lists because I got Drew Brees at number 1. Number 1 in career passing yards, that's just going to keep going up. Number 2 in touchdown passes, he's going to be number 1. Aside from injury, that's going to happen next year.
I don't want it to, but I will respect it if he does.
He's number 1 all time in completion percentage at 67.3%.
Fun fact, he's throwing at 77% right now.
Yeah, he
That's
is.
Absolutely
Yeah,
ridiculous.
he's insane. Drew Brees is having an MVP season, like him and Patrick Mahomes. And I think he's only got 1 interception this year too.
Really.
23
so.
touchdowns, 1 interception, I think.
Yeah, he's having an unbelievable
Next
year.
to Aaron Rodgers, I think at 20 touchdowns and 1 interception.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. My number 2 is I got Tom Brady. I mean, say what you will about him, he's got the most rings. Tom Brady is number 2, and he's also right behind Brees in touchdown passes with 505. My number 3, I got Aaron Rodgers because I think come the end of his career, Aaron Rodgers is going to be the undisputed GOAT. Aaron Rodgers is.
Especially if you can get a good supporting cast. Too.
Yeah, if he can get another ring or 2, which I think he can. Like, he's number 1 all-time in career passer rating at 103.5.
And he didn't play his first 3 years either.
Yeah,
and he's
he was
already
sitting
over.
behind
He's
Brett
already
Favre.
Yeah, and he's already over 300 touchdowns, the fastest to ever do it.
Yeah, and the number 2 guy is at 99.7, and he's later down on my list. So he's a full 4 points higher in passer rating. Number 4, I got Big Ben, got 2 Super Bowls. Still got a ways to go. I think he's built for longevity. He's put up some pretty big numbers in his career. And then my number 5 is Russell Wilson. He might have a young career, not as young as Jared Goff, but he's putting up big numbers. Like I said, 99.7 career passer rating, which is number 2 all time at this stage in his career. He's got an equal touchdown to interception ratio as Tom Brady. 3 touchdowns for every 1 pick. Aaron Rodgers is insane though. His is 4.2 touchdowns for every interception. Like, that's insane. But Yeah, that's my top five: Breeze, Brady, Rogers, Big Ben, and then Russell Wilson.
One quick thing. With Breeze breaking all the records this year, I feel like he's back on everybody's radar. But I feel like for the
Yeah.
past few years, nobody was really talking about Drew Brees
Yeah,
that
he's
much.
he's
I feel
the
like he just-
quiet goat.
He
yeah,
hasn't
he doesn't really get the credit he
ever
deserves,
since he
in my
won that
opinion.
Super Bowl is when he started getting that recognition.
Yeah.
Back in what 2009, 2010.
Yeah, and like early on, like
Yeah.
it was just Jimmy Graham. Like,
Yeah.
Jimmy
Jimmy
Graham
Graham
helped
show.
him, but now it's like he doesn't have Jimmy Graham.
Hey,
He's
when you
making use of his
when you
other
beat
weapons.
Peyton Manning in a Super Bowl and then you pass Dan Marino season yardage in a season, you start getting that recognition.
Yeah, which by the way, Drew Brees has about half of the 5,000-yard passing seasons in the history of the NFL. So, I mean, there's that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and we're talking about Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson. Let's talk about tonight's game. Packers visiting the Seahawks. It's NFC showdown. Loser misses the playoffs essentially.
Like, very likely, yeah.
We got score predictions from everyone. I think everybody's probably in agreement here that the Packers are going to pull it out. I don't know about Mike.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll
But-
see. But what I will say is it's definitely not going to be a 52-21 game
No,
like the
definitely
like
not.
the Steelers.
28-27, Packers up winning drive.
I'm expecting to see 21-17 Packers.
I feel like it's going to be more of a 28-24 type game. Close fought. I think Seahawks have a slight edge just because they're at home.
Yeah. CenturyLink does provide a good home field advantage with
Yeah,
the noise.
Packers haven't won at CenturyLink since 2008, and the last two trips, at least, or two of the last trips, have been very memorable games. You got the Fail Mary, and you got the improbable NFC Championship game comeback. So
Yeah, Seahawks know how to play the Packers, it
Hey,
seems.
yeah,
But
it's one of
Aaron
the-
Rodgers, I think, is fully healthy tonight, though.
He's
yeah,
fully healthy. Packers are...
Aaron Jones, he just lit up Miami last week. 145 yards, 2 TDs. I think he's now
on
becoming.
15 carries too.
I think he's becoming the lead rusher in that team, who really hasn't had a quality
Yeah, they
rusher.
haven't.
You can say Eddie Lacy was kind of like that, but
Yeah.
there is a reason they got rid of him.
Yeah. He was
He kind of fat.
He gave him something, but yeah, he was a big boy and he needed a little speed.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
even
so
think
we'll
Eddie
see.
Lacy's in the league anymore.
No, not right
No.
now.
I know he went to Seahawks that one year
Yeah.
and then kind of
Yeah, that
crushed
was-
it down. And
That was a
then,
bust. Talk about a bust.
He was a good guy to hit like the one hole, but that was about it. Straight up the middle.
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway,
It's going to be a close game tonight, I think. These two teams always play hard.
yeah, we need a good Thursday night football. Usually,
Yeah.
they've been blowouts all year.
Yeah,
so.
even games like last week that were supposed to be good, not good. So,
No. So
unless you like a lot of points from one team.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe for fantasy it was a good week for you, but
or if you were
As
you
a
had
viewer,
Big Ben.
yeah, if you were a Steelers fan, I know it's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
But moving on, we have 3 teams in the league that has 1 losses: the Rams, the Saints, and the Chiefs. Out of those 3, which one's the better team in the league?
I gotta say the Rams are the best. I want to believe the Chiefs with Mahomes, but we've seen the Chiefs get a lot of hot starts before with Andy Reid and just never really materializes in the playoffs. And I don't know if I can put all my faith in them again. And Chargers, I don't know. I don't see him doing it. I got to give it to the Rams. The Rams have been hot. Jared Goff's young. He's going in.
For me, it's tough because I want to say the Rams, but the Rams lost to the Saints. So it's pretty difficult. I would say they're pretty equal. And I would not be surprised if we see those teams in the championship game. Those are the 2 best teams in the
Mhm.
NFC. Chiefs are by far the best team in the AFC. You got the Patriots up there too, but they just got beaten by 24 to the Titans. But I would have to give a slight edge to the Saints simply because, I mean, like we were saying, Drew Brees is on fire this year. And also they beat the Rams already. So I would
Yeah.
have to say Saints.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Saints for one reason: Rams defense suck, the Chiefs defense suck, but the Saints defense, they have the better defense out of the 3. You know, you can say what you want. They dropped 35 points against the the Rams, but they held the red hot Bengals to 14 points, made some turnovers, whatnot. So
That is true, yeah.
and then Eli Apple, Marshawn Lattimore, those guys are nasty. Cameron Jordan, but can't forget about this Monday Night Football against the Chiefs and the Rams, though.
That's going to be a big game.
This will be the game of the year so far.
It's the Super Bowl preview, really.
Could be.
Probably. Unless the Chiefs hold course to history and somehow find a way to go 9-7.
Or choke against the Patriots or Steelers in the playoffs previous years.
Yeah. So, who you guys got in that game?
I think it's the battle of which offense is better. Cooper Kupp is down. He's gone for the season. I think the Chiefs' offense is just slightly better than the
And the Rams. Rams having a close game against the Seahawks, even with all the Seahawks mistakes, isn't that promising to me. Doesn't give me that much confidence because that really should have been an easier win than it was for them.
Yeah, and the Seahawks were down to their backup running back to Mike Davis. And Rashad Penny, their third string, while he's a first-round pick, still picked up 100 yards.
But this is be the first game Marcus Peter gets to play against his former team. So I don't know if he's going to show off or he's just going to fall like he usually does. You can say he's a great quarterback, or cornerback, but he gives up so many touchdowns.
Yeah. It's going to be a high-scoring, close game, I think.
Shootout. Gotta love the shootouts.
Classic.
Yeah.
If you got fantasy people on those teams, you're welcome.
Do you want to talk about Le'Veon Bell at all, or
Oh, yeah.
how that affects the Steelers? Thoughts on that?
I don't think it's going to affect it that much. James Conner
that's
is probably popping off. I think he's putting up better numbers than Le'Veon Bell did, career-wise.
Yeah, it's going to affect another team, whoever gets Le'Veon Bell.
So you think he's gone for sure after this?
Yeah,
it's not Le'Veon Bell, it's James Conner that's kicking him out.
Yeah.
Like, the Steelers would hold on to Le'Veon Bell if James Conner wasn't producing.
We saw his last days in a Steelers uniform.
Yeah.
So we'll see what new uniform he'll have coming in the 2019-2020 season.
Dang. I know some teams. Seahawks could definitely use him.
Well, they got Chris Carson
or
busting
to
out.
the Packers.
I think the Packers are going to pick him up despite Aaron Jones.
That would be insane. That would make them.
Give him Le'Veon Bell. Aaron Rodgers got his second ring.
Oh,
Yeah.
easily.
Get a defense on the first round. Bam.
Yeah, Packers are instant Super Bowl contenders, up there with the Rams.
All right, moving on to Cleaver of the Week. My AFC Cleaver of the Week is Big Ben. Went 22 for 25, 328 yards, 27 rushing yards, 5 touchdowns. No brainer right there. He was this best player in the NFC or AFC. In the NFC, I got Aaron Jones, 145 rushing yards, 27 recording yards, 2 touchdowns. He was averaging almost 10 yards a carry. I don't think anyone was able to top those 2 guys this week.
Yeah, no, I have the exact 2 same guys.
For mine, I'm going to give it to Mariota for the AFC.
Simply
Strong win.
because he beat the Patriots.
He beat the Patriots.
He
Nobody
found a
was
way.
expecting it. That's a big win, young quarterback. And then NFC, Drew Brees, easy pick.
Yeah, I had to go against him in fantasy. Really screwed my fantasy up that week.
And Drew Brees also, just like Big Ben, went 22 of 25. So
Oh, he ran for a touchdown too. Drew Brees.
Yeah, that's uncharacteristic.
I've seen this man running more often now.
He's doing it all. He got old and decided he wanted to run. It's
like-
not usually what I'd expect to see, but
yeah, he's
I
saying,
respect it.
there's nobody open. I don't want to ruin this completion percentage of 77%. I'll just run it in.
Yeah, he's playing for the numbers at this point.
He's playing for that second ring also.
Yeah,
Oh.
he's on his way. They're a good team.
All right, moving on to the NFC is very close for the wild card race. You got 5 teams with four wins right now, and the next 2 teams above them are the Vikings and the Panthers.
Ooh.
Which the Vikings with 5 wins and a tie, and the Panthers are at 6 wins but a brutal beatdown. Who do you guys got winning those 2 wild card pieces? coming down the stretch with 6 games left?
For me, the wild card, one of the wild cards is going to come out of the NFC North. It's either going to be Minnesota or Chicago. Minnesota's 5-3-1 right now. Chicago's leading the division at 6-3. I think at the end of the day, the Bears are going to end up winning that division on the last game of the season. Chicago's going to beat Minnesota, and so Minnesota is going to be the first wild card. And then the second, I think, is going to be Atlanta. Atlanta's going to have a strong finish to their season, and they're going to wind up 10-6 and take that second wild card.
Yeah, well, mine's a little different. Looking at the schedules, I actually have the Packers winning the NFC North. I'll go into that later, and I think the Bears going to take the wild card. The Vikings' schedule going down the road is extremely brutal. With I think 4 of their games are against teams with winning records in the playoff race, whereas the Packers, their hardest game. Well, they've already played all their hardest games. Their hardest game is against the Bears and the Vikings, which if they can beat both those teams, it's smooth sailing for them. And the Bears, same thing. They all got to beat up on each other. I think the Bears beat the Vikings also on both times. And to take it, and then my second one is I think the Falcons. The Falcons is a pretty easy schedule. Their only hardest games is they got the Cowboys this week. Beat the Cowboys, you eliminate the Cowboys essentially. They got the Saints. We've seen Matt Ryan and Drew Brees shootouts and many times before. And then the Panthers, which I think Matt Ryan plays his best games against the Panthers. Don't know how, but he does. I mean, Julio already caught 300 yards in a game against the Panthers. That's their That's the Panthers' kryptonite right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Falcons. I agree with that, but I think from the NFC North, it's gonna be the Bears taking the wild card spot. I don't see them winning out. The Packers and the Vikings, both strong teams, looking better, and with a young quarterback, I don't know if I trust Trubisky to finish out the season as cleanly as it's gone so far.
Yeah. So we can all agree Falcons are going.
Falcons,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised they finish. All they gotta do is finish the season 10-6. So
Yeah,
they
I
can
see the Falcons' only losses being the Saints.
they either the
After
Saints,
that, they win.
Panthers, and then they do have a matchup against the Eagles. But I think Matt Ryan could beat the Eagles. No, they've already played the Eagles. My bad. There
They
was
got-
a team.
Yeah,
I
they
can't-
got Dallas, New Orleans, Baltimore,
it was
Green Bay.
Baltimore, yeah.
You got Green Bay, then you got Carolina and Tampa Bay
Yeah.
and Arizona.
Yeah, I think their loss is gonna come to Green Bay.
I can agree with that. And then the Panthers, they just don't have it.
No.
Nobody. I don't
After
think anybody
being-
here trusts them especially after
Yeah.
those rough losses
After that
to the
beat down.
to the Steelers.
Yeah. They're still a good team, but I don't know.
Cam Newton's had his problems in the past too, coming up clutch. So
Yeah.
All right, moving on. We're gonna talk about the Packers a little bit. A couple years ago, they went 4-6. Aaron Rodgers says, "Relax, we got this." Ran the table, went 10-6, make the playoffs. They're 4-4-1 right now. You think the Packers are gonna run the table again this year, and make the playoffs and or win the division?
Well, based on my prediction from the game for tonight, I don't think they're going to run the table. They're still a good team, but I don't think they're a playoff team this year. They're not going to run the table, but
I could see them running the table, especially if they win tonight. It's just the Vikings is a tough game. Bears also a tough division matchup.
yeah, Vikings have one of the best defenses in the league.
I mean, they tied them already.
Yeah.
So, and I think this time it's in Lambeau.
No,
That-
it's in
It's in Minnesota.
it's in Minnesota, yeah. And then they got the Bears in Chicago.
The Bears in Chicago. Well, I think it'll be close, but
Aaron Rodgers.
I'd give them the
is-
edge there.
I don't think Aaron Rodgers has lost in Chicago yet.
I mean, you can never count out Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
But I just don't as a whole, the team as a whole. I don't see them running the table.
Yeah, I don't know if you can rule out the possibility of them running the table. I don't know if I'd say I think it's extraordinarily likely, but I definitely think it's possible. Especially if they come in and they pound the Seahawks tonight.
Just
Show us
like
what they got.
Odell's saying, it's possible for the Giants to make the playoffs. It's possible for the Packers to run the table.
I mean,
That's,
they can
that's
More
what I'm saying.
possible in my
If
opinion.
they
Yeah.
can finish
Yeah.
11-4-1,
Yeah.
and they top the Vikings, they're definitely going to make that division.
Oh yeah, definitely. And
And let's
beat
be
the
real
Bears
here.
too.
The only way the Packers can make the Super Bowl is have a playoff game at home.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. In Lambeau, big advantage, especially in the cold.
Yeah.
Definitely.
If you want to play that wild card game in Lambeau, that's what you want to do before you match
Yeah.
up against the Saints and or the Rams, which Packers came really close against the Rams.
Yep.
I could easily see the Packers beating the Rams, especially.
With Cooper Kupp being
Yeah.
down, their defense is terrible,
Yeah, defense is not looking as
and
good as it was.
and the Packers are getting healthier.
Mhm.
Remember, they were out 3 starting wide receivers in that game.
Yeah, and I just
So-
feel like Aaron Rodgers' confidence this year is just over the
Yeah.
top. Like, he says he's going to get the comebacks, all these comebacks, and it happens almost every time.
Yeah.
Like week 1 comeback against the Bears. I mean,
Yeah.
On one leg.
won like
Yeah.
300 yards and a half, 3 TDs.
Thanks
So
for helping my fantasy team there too.
yeah,
For coming back.
Randall Cobb helped me on that one. I don't even have him anymore, but
Dang.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough stretch for him to run the table, but it's possible.
I would love them to run the table. I think they'll make things a lot more exciting in the NFC because really all you got is the Rams and Saints. You got to add a third guy in.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
NFC's interesting this year. A lot of middle of the road teams.
Yeah, and like I said, and like we're talking about, wild card is really up to grabs for most teams right now.
Yeah, you got a lot of teams hovering around that 500 mark.
Oh yeah.
And really, the AFC, there's about 4 teams right now fighting for those wild card too. But with the Bengals,
Dolphins.
Titans, and then really, if you want to consider the Colts are only, they're only one
They're-
game behind.
Yeah,
for
they're
their
quietly in the
6th seed.
race.
quietly in the race. But their stretch isn't the greatest.
Yeah.
But definitely with the Texans leading the division. But
Yeah, AFC South is up for grabs completely in my book.
Yeah, I still see the Texans winning that division, but we'll see. They always seem to be really good on paper and then just not come through.
Yeah, and you can never count out Andrew Luck either.
Yeah. When he's healthy, definitely.
yeah, but they've always had defensive problems on that team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they have a rookie who's going off.
Yeah, but one guy can't do it all.
No, but it's promising for the future.
It is. They gotta play the draft right and possibly get a nice free agent pickup. I don't know any defensive guys like main all-stars going to be in the free agency, but
I think the only one I can think of is Ndamukong Suh if the Rams don't re-sign him.
that and Marcus Peters hasn't signed a new deal yet either.
Really,
But do you really want Marcus Peters?
maybe take a chance on him.
If he
1-year
picks
deal.
up his game, yeah. He proved that he can be great with the Chiefs, but
Mhm.
he's been dropping the ball this year.
All right, moving on to our Week 11 predictions.
Ooh.
We've already talked about tonight. I think I got the Packers winning against the Seahawks. I think we all got the Packers winning.
I got Seahawks, but I could
That's
see
fair.
it. I could see it going both ways.
We all got it pretty close of a game, not a
Yeah.
blowout for sure. So
Yeah, definitely going to be within a touchdown.
Our Sunday games, we got Cowboys at the Falcons. I got the Falcons winning this game. It's playoff or go home at this point for both teams, and I think that the Falcons is just slightly better.
yeah, Cowboys got a win last week, but I don't know if that's really gives me much confidence in them. Dak Prescott's looking questionable. Jason Garrett's and the Cowboys play calling.
Yeah, and their offensive
Was
line
very
is starting to
predictable.
drop like flies. Travis Fredrickson is, he's been injured. Collins keeps getting false start penalties every other play. So
Yeah, I got the Falcons taking this one at home, furthering their playoff hopes and dropping the Cowboys' playoff hopes even further.
and listen, Super Bowl's at Atlanta this year. It's Falcons trying to get that home field advantage. In the Super Bowl.
That would be something. We said that with Minnesota last year, though.
They came close, but
Yeah.
Falcons possibility is real if they can beat the Cowboys and come back to 500.
Next Sunday game we got is Bengals at the Ravens. I think I got the Ravens this one. The Bengals got humiliated last week by a good team, but they got humiliated last week. I got the Ravens pulling this one out.
I'm going with the Bengals winning this one. I have absolutely no faith in Joe Flacco. Pretty much all the time.
Fun fact: we don't even know if Joe Flacco is going to play this week. He's been having a hip injury. Lamar Jackson's going to most
Potentially
likely play at the start, and I think the Bengals are going to underestimate Lamar Jackson. He's looked solid during his limited playing time this season. I think Lamar Jackson lights up a very terrible Bengals defense.
And Lamar Jackson changes the entire offense of the Ravens. Completely different play style from Joe Flacco, obviously.
Yeah.
All right, we got Panthers at the Lions. I got the Lions in this one
Really?
for similar reasons, but the Lions are due for a win. They got Matt Stafford. They got Kerryon Johnson, who had a good week last week. I got the Lions taking a close one against the Panthers.
Yeah, I got the Lions too. It's very hard to start fixing up a defense that has problems. Your main cornerback is still a rookie. So I think the Lions offense, like I said about last week, is slightly better than the Panthers offense. And if it has to come down to an offense, I trust Matthew Stafford more than Cam Newton with really no receivers on that team.
I don't know. I think Cam Newton's versatility, being able to run the ball, might give him a shot. And I have some faith in the Panthers and Cam Newton. They're always a solid team, and you can't count them out. And the Lions have been looking lackluster, in my opinion. So I'm going with the Panthers.
Yeah, a very important game in the AFC South. The Titans visiting the Colts. That's
going to be an interesting game.
Yeah, if Colts lose, they're essentially out of the wild card race. If the Titans lose, the grasp for the division really comes down to if they can beat the Texans again. But I think I got the Colts winning.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Titans looked solid. Good win against the Patriots, but that's kind of a fluke, in my opinion. And Andrew Luck's always reliable.
Yeah, and, the Colts, they played pretty decently against the Jaguars, who still has a decent defense, granted the fact that the defense is slightly...
They're having some issues.
They've had a drop-off, a significant drop-off.
Yeah, but, he still played well against the Jalen Ramsey and company, so I think I'm going to give it to the Colts.
I think I got the Titans in this one because of their confidence after beating the Patriots by 24. So I think the Titans and Marcus Mariota are going to pull it out against the Colts on the road.
Could be a decent game. Buccaneers visiting the Giants. I got the Giants winning this one.
Ooh.
I think Odell's saying that possibility for playoffs to win out. They can go 9-7 if they win out. Their stretch isn't terrible, and it's possible. I think their offense really took off. I think Odell is finally becoming like his old self, still averaging 100 yards this game. I think he has 6 or 7 touchdowns now. So I have more faith in Eli Manning than Ryan Fitzpatrick when it comes down to winning a game.
Yeah, I think I'll have the Giants winning this game as well. Both teams have weapons on offense, but I think the Giants they're at home. They're going to come away with a win in this one. Going to find a way to limit Fitzpatrick in that offense.
Yeah, and Buccaneers got the worst defense in the league. The Giants actually has a respectable defense.
Yeah, Giants at home are promising. For me, it's just about if the Buccaneers can get the ball into the end zone, because you saw them put up a lot of yards and a lot of offense, but they still couldn't score. And I think that if they can manage to convert some plays in the red zone, then that's make or break for them in my book.
Got a solid game. Texans at Redskins.
Texans are on a 6-game win streak, so I'm gonna say that they'll make it 7 and they'll beat the Redskins. Redskins have a pretty good defense, but I think the Texans, with the addition of Demaryius Thomas, will just be a little bit too much. Deshaun Watson will find Thomas and Watkins, and you got Miller in the backfield still. And then on defense, I mean, J.J. Watt, Jadeveon Clowney. I mean, that pass rush is ruthless. So I think I got the Texans winning this one over the Redskins.
Yeah, I actually got the Redskins winning. It's actually really cold over in the East Coast right now. I know that Washington, D.C. was in a blizzard warning this week, and I don't think Texas teams play very well in the cold. Definitely definitely in snow, if it does somehow snow in that if it does snow this week or whatnot, if they're still even in that blizzard warning. So if that does happen, if you're going to count weather, I think that Alex Smith and the Redskins will pull off a win against the Texans.
Yeah, I'm going with Redskins as well. They're at the top of a pretty decent division with the defending Super Bowl champions, even if they're not what they used to be. And I really didn't expect much from the Redskins. I never really do, but I don't know. 6-3 is impressive, and I think that they've had some more what's the word? More impressive wins so far than the Texans, considering who they've played.
We got Steelers at the Jaguars. I got the Steelers in this one. Their offense is going to be too much for the Jags. Put up 52 against the Panthers, obviously, last week. So I got the Steelers and Big Ben finding a way to beat the Jags.
Yeah, I agree. Jags started out the season looking a lot better than where they are now, and it looks like they're having some locker room troubles, and the defense doesn't really look like it wants to play with the quarterback that they have. And I think that, especially like Mike said, after the Steelers just beat down last week, you got to go with them.
Yeah, there's a lot of emotions coming in this game. You know, Jaguars beat the Steelers twice last year. Definitely won in that playoff game, that shootout. And you know, like you guys are saying, the Jaguars defense isn't producing, probably because of the fact that the offense isn't producing that well either. So I think the Steelers will come in and win. You know, they got a lot of emotions right behind this team. They kind of hate each other right now. This is a unnamed rivalry going on.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it to the Steelers. I think their offense is just better than the Jaguars' offense.
Got Raiders at the Cardinals.
The game nobody wants to have to watch right there.
Mike, keeping it real. Yeah. Yeah, I think Cardinals are going to come out on top of this one. Raiders are just demolishing themselves, trading everyone away. Cardinals are actually they have a decent defense against the pass, and that's the Raiders' strength. That's really their only offense with Marshawn Lynch out. So I got the Cardinals winning this one at home.
Yeah, Cardinals got a better defense. Josh Rosen has looked nice this year. You know, he is a rookie, but I think he's overperformed what people thought he was going to do. He's not putting up,
Big
5
numbers.
touchdowns a game,
Yeah.
300 yards, but he is doing the job that he needs to do, and trying to keep staying games, which the Cardinals have him mostly this year. They stayed into the game until about the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Cardinals, Raiders have looked terrible all season. John Gruden making questionable trades. Looks like he's trying to rebuild the team, and this just doesn't look like the year for him. I wouldn't be surprised if they just start intentionally tanking soon.
Yeah, I
If
mean,
they're not already.
Well,
If
they
you sign-
already are.
I mean,
They already
if
are.
you've signed a 10-year deal as a head coach, obviously you're going to try to
Yeah.
rebuild in something in your image, but with 20% of ownership. Moving on to the Broncos and Chargers, I feel like this game is going to go a different ways. I think the Broncos are going to win. Times and times again in history, Phillip Rivers falls out in the second half of the season. Every year everyone's like, oh, Phillip Rivers going to win MVP, and then he just tanks. and I think this is what's going to happen. He's going against a pretty solid defense, despite the Broncos' offense isn't producing that much. I think that the Broncos will come in and steal a win away.
I got the Chargers winning this one. Moving up, they're gonna move up to 8-2. They're at home. Phillip Rivers is gonna have another nice game. I feel he might drop off, but he still put up a nice game against the Seahawks last week. So I think he'll put up another nice game against another good defense against the Broncos and find a way to beat them.
Yeah, I'm with Mike on this. I think the Chargers got it, and Melvin Gordon's been a monster thus far, and I expect to see that continue next week.
Got the Eagles at the Saints.
Saints.
Yeah, I got the Saints too. I won't be surprised if this comes down to a shootout, though, with two very good passing offenses.
Yeah.
Two really great QBs.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely with Golden Tate coming to the Eagles, you know,
That
put him in
does
the
change
slot.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the Saints pulls it out at the end.
Yeah, we've just been talking about Drew Brees
Yeah.
and how incredible he's been, and I don't know. I don't see that stopping soon.
Yeah, and Eagles just lost Randy Darnold for the season, Darby for the season. So you're out of a cornerback.
Yeah, even more
Yeah.
weaknesses for Brees to exploit.
Yeah. Drew Brees is going to find a way to pick apart the Eagles like he has every other team in the league that he's played so far. So, Saints are going to win this one. I don't think they're going to put up 51 points like they did against the Bengals, but it's still going to be a high-scoring game.
Moving on to a good Sunday night football.
Yeah.
Vikings visiting the Bears.
Any other week, this might be the game of the week, but this is the second best game of the week. I think I got the Vikings winning this one because their defense is one of the best in the league. Defense wins championships, and Mitchell Trubisky has been having a good year, but he's still a young QB, and the Vikings are gonna shut him down, and Kirk Cousins is gonna have he's got the best receiver in the game right now with Adam Thielen, so they're going to put it together against the Bears and win on the road.
This is the battle of the North right now. You know, winner's
Yeah.
going to take the first place. Stephon Diggs has been in and out of injuries this year. But I think the Bears are going to come up on top. Khalil Mack, Eddie Jackson, you know, the defense is nice. Granted, the fact that the Vikings defense are nice, the Bears are at home. You're in the Windy City. Dan Bailey, I don't think he's that great at going into Chicago. He's not used to that stuff, you know. So I
Yeah.
think, and Trubisky, I'm not going to say Trubisky is going to have a great game, but
He's
they're-
solid.
yeah, and if you're going to rely on the run game, I think that the Bears' run game is definitely a lot better than the Vikings, and the Bears are going to come out on top.
Yeah, I think they're both like really evenly matched, and it could go either way. And for that reason, I'm going Bears because they're at home.
Moving on to the great Monday Night Football game, Chiefs versus the Rams. It got moved to L.A. after a very, very terrible field conditions in Mexico. So,
Talk about a contrast of matchups per week.
Yeah.
Last week, you had the Giants and 49ers. This week, you got Super Bowl preview, possibly Chiefs and Rams, like we just said.
this is the fourth time in NFL history after Week 10 that you have two teams with one losses are meeting against each other. So,
It's going to be a good game to watch.
two electrifying offenses. I think the Chiefs are going to come out on top. You know, like you were saying earlier, I think that the Chiefs have a much better offense than the Rams. So, I got the Chiefs.
I got the Chiefs as well. Rams just lost one of their best receivers in Cooper Kupp for the season. Both teams have explosive offenses. Both teams, I think, are going to put up over 30 points. But Chiefs are, I think they just have the more explosive offense right now.
Yeah,
Chiefs are going to take it.
Yeah, I agree with Chiefs. Mahomes has been surprisingly performing very well all season. Rams have injuries, and in addition, a lot of the Rams are playing in a weak NFC West. So I think the Chiefs' record's a little more impressive, and I put a little more faith in them to win this.
All right, moving on to our final segment. Fantasy player. Who should we pick? Who should we tell these people to pick up this week? I got Dante Moncrief from the Jaguars. Jaguars wide receiver. Thus far this season, he has 32 receptions, 477 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He's been about averaging almost 10 points a game, give or take. You're going against the Steelers team, which might come down to a lot more passing than usual against electrifying offense if you're going to try to keep up. So I expect Blake Bortles to throw the ball a lot more in this game, and he might get about 5 or 6 catches in this game.
My player is a different Jacksonville receiver, but I got D.D. Westbrook. He had 10 targets last week. Caught 5 of them against the Colts, but 10 targets, and he's in the slot. Steelers have one of the worst defenses against slot receivers, so I would just, those 10 targets, that's a lot, especially for Jaguars offense that's heavily relies on their run game with Fournette. So D.D. Westbrook could be a name for you guys to look up.
I'm going with Cole Beasley. It's an interesting pick, but I think that he's good in the short pass game, and Dak Prescott's going to need to use him. He's been pretty clutch for them, and he really did a lot to help them win over the Eagles, surprisingly, and I think that'll increase his value and increase his targets for the upcoming week.
All right, with that being said, I guess we're done with today's episode.
Yep, thanks for tuning in, listening to us, and we look forward to being back next week. Thanks for all the support.
Yep, if you guys haven't, subscribed to us so you don't miss any other fantasy updates or their next podcasts and whatnot.
Hit the notification bell right by the subscribe button. Like the video.
Yeah, and,
Don't forget.
Thank Mike for coming in.
No, good to be here. Hopefully I could do my part. And if you got any fantasy advice, I need somebody for Cooper Kupp. There's not my league doesn't have too many good players available.
The struggle is real. Struggle is real.
Yep, but thank you very much, guys, and enjoy your week.